some of our storm spotters are telling us. We're not going to leave this picture. We're going to stay with this picture, but we continue to get reports, storm spotters telling us, almost on top of Lake Louisville right now, storm spotters continue to tell us that they are seeing rotation with this storm. Haven't gotten any streaks. I mentioned a number of them just a couple of moments ago, but I do believe that this is the rotation within this thunderstorm that may be the tornado that we have been concerned about, one that may have been on the ground. I'm still waiting for eyewitness reports because it's not a very well-defined rotation with this thunderstorm. It's not your classic-looking thunderstorm that may produce a tornado. It is somewhat rain-wrapped right now, which means it's not only hard to see here looking at this television screen, but it may be hard for you to detect at home. So if you live in Denton County, if you live in Flower Mound, if you live in Louisville, you need to know that you do have a thunderstorm that is in your area right now that may be producing a tornado. It's been a ragged thunderstorm. It's been a somewhat ragged circulation with this tornado that may be on the ground, but is certainly one that has prompted tornado warnings to be issued for Collin County, Dallas County, Denton County, and Rockwall County. We are now getting reports of trees and fences down in Flower Mound. We just saw another power flash off on the right side of your screen, and 80-mile-an-hour winds are being reported by storm spotters and storm chasers in Flower Mound. So we're looking at the north end of Grapevine Lake. We're also looking at the west side of Louisville Lake. And as we continue to keep an eye on this storm, the tornado warning does continue. It does continue for Collin County, Dallas County, Denton County, Rockwall County, and Tarrant County. That tornado warning is in effect until 7:45. Not only are we watching the potential for a tornado, but large hail, very heavy winds along with this thunderstorm. And I'm talking just 80-mile-an-hour winds. That's in addition to the rotating winds that are all possible. This looks like it's just very heavy rain right now with this thunderstorm as we continue to pan the sky. HD Chopper 8. Troy Bush is up there with us, of course. And Troy, what I'm seeing from my vantage point is very heavy rain. At this point, I have seen what I believe has been some rotation, but right now I don't see that. Can you help me with that?
Yeah, I concur, Pete. It looks like any rotation that we might have had is starting to break up. It was ragged at some point. We are experiencing a lot of high winds, a lot of heavy rain. Cautiously making our way easterly to try to stay ahead of the storm. We were getting some shear, some downdrafts there shortly. But as I have the helicopter facing south, Rusty has the camera pointed back to the west, and this storm, this heavy rain is just continuing to wrap around us and moving further east. These power flashes are starting to occur, so we are going to have lots of trees down, lots of outages throughout the city. But as I look back over my shoulder, we're having to move further east to stay ahead of this speed, a safe distance easterly ahead of this storm. As I look back over my shoulder, it looks like even the rain may be starting to lighten up a little bit. And I don't see the dark contrast of the clouds that we were looking at earlier. As soon as I get a little bit further east, I'll go ahead and turn back around, and Rusty can give you a better shot of what we're looking at right over Louisville and Lake Louisville. Pete?
Well, Troy, thank you for that update. Hebron right now, that's another area that I'm concerned about as I watch what's going on in Denton County, just outside of Flower Mound, just outside of Louisville. We do have a storm spotter there, one of our chasers there, that is telling us that he has seen what he believes is rotation with this thunderstorm, so a possible tornado there in the Hebron area. Now, this storm is moving east at 50 miles an hour, and as Troy pointed out just a moment ago, it's not as intense as what it once was. The storm is still severe. It is still capable of producing a tornado, and that's why the tornado warnings are in effect for another 45 minutes. What you're looking at is just the thunderstorm cloud itself, and you're looking at very heavy rain coming out of the base of this thunderstorm. We've seen numerous lightning strikes. We've been getting a lot of reports, not only of lightning, of course, but of large hail, 80-mile-an-hour winds in Flower Mound. We've had some damage reported in Flower Mound. And as we watch for potential rotation, we're going to see it on the front edge of this storm right now, and I don't see it here with this thunderstorm at this moment. I do see the rain shafts. No doubt there's some hail in there, and there's another power flash on the horizon. So on the distance, as Troy said, he has to keep a safe distance to the east. So as we look off to the west, we're seeing power flashes in the distance, and can't get too close to those because where those power flashes are, that's exactly where we have those 70 to 80 mile an hour winds. There's the base of the thunderstorm. And Troy, tell me exactly where you are right now. I know you're east of Flower Mound. I'm certain that at this point, you're probably east of 35. Give me an update on where you're located.
Right, we had to move all the way on the eastern shores of Lake Louisville. I've got to have the helicopter pointed right back looking west as Rusty scans the storms to show you some contrast here as this heavy rain continues to move easterly at 30 to 40 miles an hour. I do apologize about you seeing the helicopter skids, but we're having to do little racetracks out here and stay a good safe distance ahead of this. But I do try to get back around so that Rusty has a good shot to show you the contrast in these clouds as this storm does pass over Lake Louisville on into the eastern part of the county here, as it does bring this heavy winds and high rains into the area. Pete?
Yeah, and what we're looking at right now, I believe that you're probably, if you're on the eastern side, you're probably right around Little Elm. If you're on the eastern side of Louisville, the lake, you're probably right around Little Elm right now. And in that area, Little Elm, probably just to the south of Prosper. So that's where you are. That's where you're looking, is off to the west. And the area that you're looking off to the west is toward Louisville. It's toward Hickory Creek. It's toward Lake Dallas, Lakewood Village, Hackberry. So it's that general area right there. And what we're continuing to watch is for rotation within this thunderstorm. And this right here appears as though it's very, very heavy rain. Very heavy rain. Troy, can we zoom into that water tower right there just to show us just exactly what we're looking at, see if we can make the name out? And that is, there's Louisville. Okay, I got it. So there's a point of reference for us, one of the water towers in Louisville, and as we pull back out, we can see the lake right there in the foreground. And I don't see any rotation at this point again, but these areas that we're concerned about, Flower Mound has had reports of 80-mile-an-hour winds. We have also had reports of very strong winds in Louisville, also in Lake Dallas. And with those reports in Louisville and also in Lake Dallas,